Wonder surrounds us, asking what we never thought to question. Now you can experience it all. The new National Geographic Channel. Always wonder.
Call your cable or satellite provider to experience the new National Geographic Channel.
Now available from National Geographic Home Video.
Speed and stamina, strength and grace. No wonder the world was once driven by horsepower. From Mongolia to Montana, horses revolutionized our world. From farm fields to battlefields, they carried us forward in time and space. They may no longer be changing history, but horses are still changing lives. Discover the secrets of man's true best friend on National Geographic's Horses.
Yellowstone, ancestral home to North America's most feared predator, the wolf. But the wolf has not always been the hunter, but the hunted. So relentless was the killing of wolves that by the 1930s, Yellowstone was declared wolf-free. Now a controversial experiment has brought this animal home. An extraordinary look at one wolf pack as it struggles to reclaim its rightful place in the heart of the wild. In National Geographic's Wolves, a legend returns to Yellowstone.
Call 800-627-5162 to order these and many other National Geographic home videos.
And now, our feature presentation.
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver.
From the Lone Ranger's Silver
Hi-Yo Silver! Away!
to Roy Rogers' Trigger. On screen and off, America's Wild West was settled on horseback.
Roy and Trigger do their stuff.
But the first horses of the real West are long gone. Or are they?
Okay, back off a little bit.
Now an unconventional cowboy and a blood-seeking historian
Liquid gold.
face the challenge of a lifetime. With a gentle hand and modern technology, they'll race back in time to resurrect a legend. America's Lost Mustangs. On the wide open plains of New Mexico, there aren't many places to hide. But there's lots of room to run. These dirt bike cowboys are after blood. Mustang blood. These horses may be exceptionally rare. To find out, they must be corralled and their bloodlines checked. But Mustangs are masters at running free. They split up and, one by one, escape. Mustangs can jump fences. Dirt bikes can't.
Well, they just move all over the place.
Today, Carlos Lepopolo will have to find his blood elsewhere.
So what do you think?
For several years, Carlos has been searching for the horses that won the West.
You know what happens? They turn out the way we want them to.
He wants to breed them back from the brink of extinction.
It is extremely hard to find them. How would you like to find something that exists nowhere else in the world?
His dirt bike roundup failed, but Carlos has another plan.
Easy.
These ranch horses were taken from that same wild herd several years ago. If blood tests prove them to be descendants of America's first Mustangs, Carlos will know he's on the right track.
We're prospecting for his DNA, and this is what we're looking for. And that's what it is we're prospectors.
Liquid gold.
Our whole idea is to preserve these horses so that the future can see what it was like.
America's first riding horses were called barbs. They came from Spain in a variety of colors, with short, solid bodies and thick necks.
Takes real cowboy riding to handle a bunch of ponies.
What they lacked in height, they made up for in heart. They were the equine foundation of the Wild West.
These are the horses that started it all in the United States. The Indian pony, the cowboys' horses, the Pony Express. We're talking about living history. That's these little horses.
That living history is dying out fast. Centuries of breeding with other horses has made the old Spanish Mustang a rarity. To help save a piece of the past, Carlos sends his blood samples to the University of Kentucky. Equine genetic expert Gus Cothran looks for a DNA needle in a haystack of crossbreeds.
Well, we definitely have some variation there. It looks like
Gus reads the genetic striping like a book.
getting both fast and slow.
This time, he's impressed by the story it tells.
It's a surprising thing to see in this population. The preliminary results are quite striking. These may represent a genetic resource that points to something back in time that just doesn't exist anywhere else.
It's good news, but there's more to do. If Carlos is to preserve this small band, he must locate more horses with similar bloodlines for breeding.
Well, the best case scenario would be to find another wild herd, particularly one from the same geographic area. It could be quite important because otherwise they could go extinct.
To find them, Carlos turns to the archives.
This is just a start. We're just beginning now. Now the challenge is to find other horses.
Carlos searches old brands and trading documents. He looks for evidence of early horses that may have been set free.
It's hard and it's tedious work.
The span Spanish brought the first riding horses through what is now El Paso, Texas. They eventually mixed with other breeds, spreading to the northwest and east along the plains. Today, wild horses live in several states, but the Mustangs Carlos wants most likely roam in New Mexico. Here, some Mustangs still run free, respected and left alone on Native American land. Carlos's search leads him to the Pueblo of Laguna. They have had several wild herds here longer than anyone can recall.
This is where you said you saw them before, Stacy?
Yeah, there was a group of about 15 down here last time.
One Pueblo legend even says they are uncatchable.
Is that them down there, Stacy? Right down there by the bluff?
Yeah, I think that's them.
How long you figure they've been out here running, Stacy?
Oh, I don't know, as long as I can remember.
Carlos thinks these may be the type of horses he's after because of what happened near here 400 years ago. It's the story of Oñate's lost herd. In 1599, Spanish explorer Juan de Oñate led an expedition west of the Rio Grande Valley. But bad weather made it tough going. Caught in a snowstorm, a band of his horses spooked and bolted. They became America's first Mustangs. To help find their descendants, Carlos calls on an unconventional cowboy.
Yeehaw! Focus, feel, and timing. What it's all about.
Pat Pirelli is a master horseman with a worldwide following.
Who would like to be so good with horses that even your horse thought you were brilliant?
With his wife Linda and a team of instructors, Pat travels the globe, showing people how to not work, but play with anything equine. Horses, donkeys, mules, even this Zorse, half zebra, half horse.
Give him a big hand, would ya?
Pat agrees to help Carlos in his search for America's first Mustangs.
The reason I'm taking Casper here is because he's my best horse, and I know I'm going to need it where I'm going, what we've got to do.
He leaves the mountains of his Colorado home and heads to New Mexico.
I think this is one of the bigger challenges I've ever done in my life. There's all kinds of ways we could force these horses into a situation where they'd have no choice. Heck, we could rope these horses, choke them down, but that's not what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to use horse and human relationship skills to do things naturally.
Pat was a rodeo bronc rider who discovered the secrets of natural horsemanship. In 1980, he made history with a mule named Thumper.
See Pat pulls on the horn, shifts his weight.
In an international stock horse competition, Pat's mule did what people thought only horses could do, and Thumper didn't need reins or a bridle. Mules have been banned from the competition ever since. Now Pat's reputation is on the line again. He'll have to convince wild horses that he is head of their herd without whips, hobbles, or chutes. America's Mustangs have rarely been handled with such respect. For decades, horses were routinely rounded up and slaughtered for chicken food. From more than 1 million wild horses at the turn of the century, America now has less than 50,000. Even today, some consider Mustangs a nuisance and illegally shoot them. Who knows how many of the original Mustang bloodline have survived 400 years in the wild. To test the bloodline of the Pueblo horses, Pat Pirelli must first round them up.
Pretty good place, guys.
Once they locate the horses they're after, they'll try to drive them into a portable corral.
There's manure on the ground all over the place in here. They've been in here a lot. This is probably a place they think they're real comfortable in.
You did a good job picking this place.
Yeah.
This is really nice.
I think it looks like a real good spot to do a horse roundup.
We camouflage it just right. Them horses are going to think, hey, we're on the escape. We've got it made. Okay, boys. Woo-wee! Come on, let's go. Grandma's slow, but she was old. Let's get on it. Let's get these panels up.
We got something started here, haven't we?
1, 2, 3, go. There, easy.
How many panels did you bring?
We got 80.
80.
Hey, we need one more panel over there.
It's working out slick. And it really has a strength in it. There's nothing going to go through it, not even a buffalo.
Plastic tied to sticks will help spook the Mustangs in the right direction. But first, they have to find the horses and get them down from a giant mesa where they were last spotted.
Getting them off this ledge probably not going to be no easy matter, but they got up here somehow.
Well, I don't know. I think the horse will kind of tell you where to go. We'll just kind of get them started and let them show us the way off.
Well, one thing's for certain, they're not going to jump off.
Us either.
Yeah.
They're surrounded by sheer cliffs with no easy or safe way down to the corral.
So far, I've seen a couple of soft spots.
The landscape is dotted with hazards.
It's going to be rocky. It's going to have all kinds of different types of cactuses and obstacles, ditches.
I mean, a horse that's really galloping can stick a front foot in that, break the horse's leg, kill a man, the whole thing. There's an old Arab proverb that says the rider's grave is always open.
Let's go.
Thoughts of danger are stabled away. It's roundup time. They're in luck. A few miles down the track, they spy the horses in the distance. The first step is to catch up and hold them steady. For 20 minutes, it's a flat gallop to reach the band. The horses are surrounded. And one of Pat's men spots a trail nearby where they can get the Mustangs off the mesa. But it's a risky business.
We've got to just steady them for a minute, let them have a little think. If we get down off this and they break really fast, we probably can't get down that ridge as fast as they can. So we've just got to steady them here for a minute, let them relax a bit, and if we can, we'll walk them off this ridge as slow as we can. But the main thing is that we do get them off this ridge this time. If we lose them one time, then we're in trouble.
They manage to drive the horses to the edge, but no further. The horses can see only the cliff and no trail. For 15 minutes, the Mustangs won't budge.
Okay, boys. Okay, back off a little bit. They're starting to think, they're licking their lips.
Finally, they spot the trail and head down.
This is pretty good going right here, but it's going to get tough on down here.
It's single file and slow going. The wild horses handle the rocky terrain well. But the saddle horses fall behind. Each cautious step for the wranglers gives the Mustangs a bigger lead. The Mustangs have a clear run. But where are the cowboys? It's a race to catch up. Just in time, the cowboys are able to guide the Mustangs to the canyon where the corral awaits. The wild horses are trapped.
That worked. Job. Worked good, man. That worked really good.
That was really neat.
Feels pretty good, don't it?
You got on the wrong side there. Hell of a good job there, I'll tell you.
I tell you what, that's a good-looking herd there.
That sure is. Oh, damn. We got the right height, we got the right weight.
It's a distinctive herd, all right. Some even have eyes of sky blue. But it's bloodlines that count. And drawing blood from a wild horse isn't easy.
Every time you relax, I'll relax. How's that?
That's where Pat's expertise will really be put to the test. Pat Pirelli picks the most unsettled horse first.
You've got to find the edges of the corral here. What can I do to prove to you that I'm not going to hurt you, girl?
Stage one. The Mustang must get comfortable with Pat in the corral. But this is a wild animal, confined for the first time.
Easy, girl.
The mare's nose is bleeding, but she's not seriously hurt. They're off to a rough start.
She's not trying to threaten me. She's just trying to survive. She's trying to get to where she can get to in a hurry.
The task of calming such a horse in a short time seems impossible.
Come my way now.
Other wranglers would use men with ropes to hold the horses down.
Come our way.
Pirelli uses patience and what he calls horse savvy.
What I'd like to do is show you that I know this little game. I'd like to start a relationship with you and develop a partnership. And here's what I'll do. I'll even tell you the rules of the game. If you look at me with two eyes, I'll walk away from you. You look at me with one eye, I'll slap my leg and put a little pressure on.
In just 15 minutes, it's time for stage two.
I'll let you make the first contact.
Pat wants the young mare to make the first physical contact.
If you don't want it, that's all right.
She must feel comfortable facing him. He guides her the way a mare guides a foal.
There we go. Just go here, just like your mom.
Her fear turns to curiosity.
That's good. What do you think there, girl? Oh, you made contact.
For the Pueblo, this is a return to the old ways.
One of the best things I've ever seen is, it's a miracle to me to see something done the way he's doing it. The elders, they're getting too old to where they can't show you anymore, but seeing it done the way Pat's doing it is pretty much traditional way.
There. You made an effort. You made an effort to be with me. That was good.
After just 25 minutes, it's time for stage three.
Looky here.
The mare must yield to Pat's rope.
Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you real soft little tugs, okay? Just little soft tugs. Little soft ones. Little soft ones. Oh, I know. I know. Just made a change right there. Hey, what would you think if I just kind of touched you here on this side? Oh, wouldn't that feel good? You're kind of letting me in here closer and closer. There we go, brushing your tail already, touching your ears, rubbing and dubbing. Now, if you get scared, you'll turn and face me, right?
Remarkably, this wild animal takes Pat on its back without protest.
There you go.
What can take other wranglers a week or more, Pat accomplishes in just 40 minutes.
I'll bet you never woke up this morning thinking you were going to have 200 pounds of cowboy kneeling on your back. You're just doing fantastic.
That's enough on this horse, but 12 more await. Pat must convince each animal that he's a trustworthy leader.
Oh, no, don't go that way. Oh, that rope bothered you? Oh, golly. How about you let me just come up and touch you? My goal and my idea here is to go about these horses in such a way that we won't disturb their own nature. Okay, boys and girls, look what we got. We got the lick of life right here. How about a bucket of water? We'll give them all the water they want, but it's going to be on our terms. There you go, stud horse. There you go, you're drinking out of my bucket. Hey guys, how you doing? And really get these horses to where they understand that we're not nearly as bad as we smell. Hey, we got some nice horses now.
Bit by bit, without whips or chains, the horses begin to feel comfortable around Pat and his crew. Soon the wild Mustangs are being handled like family pets. By the end of day 2, they seem ready for a vet.
This is one of the reasons people get hurt, because see, they're not reading the body language when that thing's, it's loose now. See how loose that is? Yeah, if they give that injection when that thing's tight, she's sitting there saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And she does it. They do it, and she does her thing. When that's loose, see, now it's time.
The test is in the taking.
Hey, little girl. Sorry about the nosebleed the first day, but it looks like everything's all right now. Things kind of going everybody's way, didn't it? We've got blood.
Not bad for my first time.
Good job, Jerry.
Now, careful, I'll get your finger. But don't move. That's number 2.
The details of each horse are carefully noted.
We're going to age this Palomino mare around 12.
Pat's done a fantastic job when I'm calming them down.
4 months. 4-month-old filly?
Yep. You know what these are, Arlene? These are from the southern bank. We didn't think we'd get any of these. These are really important.
Oh, it's going great. I work on horses that are tame that are worse than this. So this is nice.
And this is what it's all about. These little horses. We're hitting the gold mine today, I'll tell you. This is really great. But you wouldn't think, just for this little bit of blood. It tells us about the history of the United States. Just think about that. We worked hard. Yeah.
Blood taken, the horses are turned loose.
I'll bet you'd like to be a wild horse, huh? You prancing and dancing. How would you like to head off into the sunset like them? Look at that. There they go. When I came here, I knew I loved horses. But these horses didn't know that they'd like people. And that is a fabulous feeling looking at them right now.
In 2 weeks, Carlos has the test results. Blood tests prove them to be descendants of America's first Mustangs and suitable for Carlos's breeding program.
It's something that everybody on a team can be proud of. Everybody in the country can be proud of it.
But there's more to do. He must locate more horses, and he won't rest till he finds them.
I mean, this is a big quest. And when you find one, that's history. But when you find the one, you got to find another. The search goes on.
Now for a behind-the-scenes look at how Pat Pirelli tamed those wild Mustangs.
The first chance I got to see these horses was at a full gallop. They blasted past us. I'm telling you, my hat almost blew off. But as the horses are running and you're running at their side, you're both going about 30 miles an hour. Time seems to stand still. You start to notice the things that are going to be important later. I noticed that this filly seemed to always be out on point, always seemed to be the first one to make a change of direction. As we got to the edge of the cliff, this filly and her mother were the two that set the challenge. They were the ones that were trying to break through. Some people climb mountains, so other people swim the English Channel. For me, this is the ultimate test. This is something I've been preparing for all my life. Once we had them into the corral, we wanted them to feel safe, so we've backed off. We didn't want them to feel as though they were trapped. We let them hurry up and relax. They were tired. We were tired. Everybody was glad to stop and have a set. Now, we have to select one. Might as well work with the wildest one first. So I've opened up the corrals, and sure enough, she squirted right in. She kind of selected herself. And here, she's telling me that she is in too small a place. She's not trying to threaten me. She's just trying to survive. She's trying to get to where she can get to in a hurry. She started to act like a wild animal immediately. Oh. She's up in the air, almost over the panels. The panels, 7 foot tall. Now she's thinking, what I'll do is maybe hook on to something a little better, a little different. And in this situation, I was trying to let her know that she didn't have to feel trapped. She wasn't trapped. She had lots of options, but she wasn't seeing them. I know. I know. I know. Now at this moment I thought, this is the dangerous moment. Now my horse is loose. And the worst thing here, if that mare gets tangled in the reins, if she gets in the reins, it's all done, because now we're going to have a wreck. She has no idea what to do when she gets tangled. This is the thing that where a wild horse relies only on instinct. And when that instinct comes alive, when it gets unleashed, when it feels like it's trapped, it will do anything to save its life. She's looking for something. I know you're looking for something here that's going to give you security. I know your safety. I know your sense of self-preservation is what you're thinking about. Try. Why don't you try it? Try me. I'd like to start a relationship with you and develop a partnership. And here's what I'll do. I'll even tell you the rules of the game. If you look at me with 2 eyes, I'll walk away from you. If you look at me with 1 eye, I'll slap my leg and put a little pressure on. What I'd like to do is demonstrate with a domestic horse the same principles that we did with a wild horse. As I'm playing with a horse, I keep track of the position of his eyes. He's either got 1 eye on me, he's got 2 eyes on me, or he's got no eyes on me. And if he's defensive, totally defensive, he'll turn his tail toward me and his eyes away from me. If he's slightly defensive, he'll put 1 eye on me. But if he's totally confident or curious, he's going to put both eyes on me. This is the part where, as we're reading the body language of the horse, the eye becomes a window to the mind. But it starts off with basic trust. It starts off with the basic concept of knowing how each of us think. So if I can show him that I know how he feels and thinks, acts and plays, then he's going to want to look toward me for leadership. So what I'm going to try to do here is drive him around, just like a wild stallion would drive the herd around. And what we're going to do here is we're going to play a game. The game is simple. I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on you if you give me one eye. And if you go past me, I'm going to put a lot of pressure. And as you come around on the inside of me, in front of me, I'm going to give you a chance to look at me. If you'll turn toward me, then I'll leave you alone. But if you don't, if you make that decision to act like a prey animal, like a wild animal, then I'm going to put more pressure. So let's see how the game works. As soon as he gives me 2 eyes, now he's going to give me no eyes, so I give him lots of pressure. So the game's the same, whether he's wild or he's domestic. The secret is to pay attention to all the little things. Whether he's got 1 eye on you or 2 eyes. So let's see what he does here. We'll give him a choice. When he gives us no eyes, we put a lot of pressure. Comes his eyes. Nope, he went away. Okay. As soon as he goes to give us 2 eyes, we take the pressure off. He gave us the slightest try there. Now he's given us no eyes. So he knows it's a game now. He's starting to give us the ear, now the eye. As soon as he gives us 2 eyes, we're going to back off. We're going to retreat. This is how you reward a horse, by going away from him. Then it becomes his idea. He understands clearly who the leader is and who the follower is. This is the first step for a horse to turn loose. How about if I back off when you kind of relax? What we want to do, I'd like to reward you for relaxation. Turning loose is when a horse is mentally and emotionally accepting with confidence, accepting the fact that the human is really not a predator. So what I'll do is I'll stick my neck out here and offer that to you. No, kick at you. Every time you don't. The reason she believes she's lived as long as she's lived is because she always follows her instincts. And here, that's all she's trying to do, and I'm just trying to give her an idea that I'm not here to hurt her, I'm here to help her. First contact. She can act like a wild animal all she wants, but when she acts like a partner and looks at me, it all goes away. Every time she licks her lips, every time she blinks her eyes or moves her ears, it's starting to tell me that fear is giving way to curiosity. I know that adrenaline that you've been on there for a little bit kind of caused you to react rather than think and respond. But now, there we go. What I'll do is every time you just kind of look at me, I'll just walk away. See if you can just kind of come on over in here and follow. That'll be fine. She's trying to make the new decision, and the decision is now, can I be with this person? Can I be with this individual? Can I be with this other animal? See, to her, I am just another animal. It's not a human, not a horse. We humans, we look at it as though we're humans and they're animals. But the horse, he's just going, that is another animal. Let's make first contact with that stick. So now, to accelerate, what I'm going to do is use an extension of my arm. I'm going to take a stick that's about 4 foot long with a piece of plastic on it. I'm going to see if she'll allow me into her personal space more and more. Not just in the front, but down the side, past her withers. You made an effort. You made an effort to be with me. That was good. As I was working with the Mustang filly, I used this stick. As you can see, it's about the length of a horse's neck. When horses come together, they first greet each other from the front, and then as they go past, they go down each other's neck. So as I can use this just like it's the horse's neck, I can go to the next friendly place on the horse. The first friendly place is muzzle to muzzle. Then I went down her neck to the withers. And this is where I started to make friends with that filly. Oh man, your curiosity took over there. Curiosity taking over there. She's allowed me up front, about just to her nostrils. Oh. But can I get all the way back? It's hard to ride a horse when you're sitting on their nostrils. There. I bet you didn't know that I knew if you lick your lips, I know that it means you're thinking. The secret is learning to put pressure on at the right moment. The secret is rhythm, relaxation, and retreat. This ain't a bad deal at all. It probably feels pretty good. She's not wearing a wristwatch, so neither am I. I'm going to take the time it takes so it takes less time. I'm going to use everything I've got to get a natural result. Oh, you made contact. You made contact there, didn't you? You made contact. And you can see it now. She's got a different look in her eye. She's starting to make the changes. She's starting to allow herself to be in a position of harmony. Oh, that feels pretty good, don't it? Yeah, that feels pretty good, don't it? Better than bumping your head in them panels. Them panels were made special for horses like you, so we couldn't crawl out over the top. But you don't need to act like that. What we need to do, you and I can be partners. See? We can just go here, just like your mom. As you can clearly see, horses love to be rubbed. He's rubbing on me right now. And what I'm going to do is show him that I know how he feels, thinks, acts, and plays. I'm going to rub him, just like his mother rubbed him when he was first born with her tongue. It took me 35 years to find out that horses, nor women, love to be patted like this. But they love to be rubbed more like this. When the mare starts to communicate with her foal, just when it's hours old, she starts to use her neck and pushes the foal around and pushes him over to the right, pushes him to the left. She's above him, and as she pushes him right and left, the foal starts to know that this is the beginning of the language. Because a horse can only do 6 things besides stand still: go forwards and backwards, right, left, up, and down. Horses will respond naturally from this emulation of their mother's neck by using a stick, and this is the reason that I use it. I'd like to share with you the zones that every horse has. Starting here in the middle of the head, from there to the muzzle is zone number 1. When you get from there, it starts to affect how they allow you to pass the eyes. Once they allow you to pass the eyes, then they let you into the next zone. This is the second zone. It goes clear to the wethers. 2, 3, the hips are number 4, and believe it or not, the tail is number 5. But the most important thing is something called the drive line. The drive line is right here from the break of the withers to the point of the shoulders. As we make this line here, as we cross either behind it or in front of it, the horse acts and reacts completely differently to these 2 areas. So as most people come up to a horse, they're not conscious of this line, and the horse is very conscious of it. This is where people get in trouble. If we're in front of the line, this will either turn the horse or slow him down. If we're behind the line, he'll either speed up and go past us, possibly kick. So these are the kind of things as I'm acting and reacting with the horse, having interplay. I let him know that I'm very conscious of these zones, and particularly of the drive line. Now I've got to be able to put a rope on the horse so that I can touch her and make her feel like it's an extension of my arm. The fact that she's not banging up in that cactus anymore is starting to tell me that she's thinking about comfort as well as safety. Hey, that was really nice. No. Here I've got a 45-foot long rope. We're going to throw it at her here just a few times and let her know that I can just throw it out there and touch her and that it goes away. And when it goes on her, I got to make sure that it doesn't make her feel trapped. I've got to make sure that I open my hands, relax, and leave it on there softly. Just let her wear it for a little bit. Caught a lot of horse there. Yeah, girl. My idea here is to put no more pressure on this than I would if I was holding a jump rope for a little girl to skip over it. I've roped her deep. In other words, it's gone beyond her neck. This is all right. The point here is to have the rope on and to let her know that I can touch her no matter where she's at. That I can throw other parts of the rope on and to get it around her neck, to touch her in different parts of her body. Hey, I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here. What I'm doing is I'm just holding the rope, allowing it to be here, letting her know that I'm there with her no matter where she goes, no matter how fast she runs, what she tries to do. Oh man, that's pretty fancy. That's real fancy. There we go. When I use a rope, whether it's attached to a halter or like it was on the wild mare's neck, what's really important is how that feels to the horse. And this is the way that I've learned that it's very effective, is that if we put the pressure on very slowly, and if the horse makes any response to turn loose quickly, if we turn loose to him, he'll turn loose to us. A similar situation, he's in motion. What I want to do is bring the front end toward me and the hindquarters away. My hands closing slowly, and as the hindquarters drift away, I've got to release quickly. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you real soft little tugs, okay? Just little soft tugs, little soft ones, little soft ones. That's why I got this big rope like this from that ring. I learned this in Australia. It's called the Jeffrey method. See, there's lots of natural methods with horses. All a method is oftentimes just a technique or something. But what I'm going to do is, if you'll face me, I'll leave it on. If you don't, I give it just a little tug, like this. Watch, just a little tug and open my hands. Little tug and open my hands. There you go. The wild animal comes out in her. One more time. I know. I know. It didn't work, did it? Then she makes a change. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is keep your eyes on me. I'm just going to ask you to keep your eyes on me. There, now. Just made a change right there. Hey. So I've got to start accelerating this or it's going to go too slow for her. If it goes too slow, it'll take too long, and then actually, it'll reverse on me. It'll double back. It'll bite me in the bum. So I've got to now pace it at her pace. I've got to keep going at a pace that it's interesting for her, but yet doesn't scare her. Now it's starting to go faster and faster. Hey, what would you think? I just kind of touched you here on this side. And then, you know, just for my safety and yours, if I step back here like this, touch you on the hip, just give you a little tug like that. See, that's all I want to do. That way you can learn to look at me with two eyes. Just say you get scared and you decide to run off instead of turning and kicking me. You know what you could do? Learn to look at me. I've never been kicked by a horse that was looking at me. Kicked meaning hind foot. Operant word there. And what if I could come along in here, just rub you on this side? Oh, wouldn't that feel good? And what I'd like to do, again, I'm just going to touch you on the hip here, see? I'm going to give you a little pull, but that's not what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to pull the plug and go that way. So what I'd like you to do is turn and face me. Let's try it again. I know this is, for some reason, this is your tough side. But it's all right. It's my good side. There. Turn and face me. Okay, you got the idea? If I can get you pretty equal here, where he'll turn and face me, just kind of let me in there and not block me like that so much. And not block me there. And turn and face me. And I call this drifting. I'll bet you. Where she just moves a little. It's not an escape. It's not a defensive move or an offensive move. She just moves a little. This is okay. Now, just drifting away like that's okay. You're kind of letting me in here closer and closer. Now watch again here. I want to touch you on the hip, see? I want to touch you on the hip. Have you face me. That makes a pattern. Because one thing I know is that horses are pattern animals, and what I got to do, see, that's your pattern. Get scared when I'm on the left side and turn your tail to me. Now the sweat's starting to dry. This is starting to tell me that emotionally she's starting to settle down. She's starting to accept with confidence. Now we're cooking. Turn and face. So we better get you pretty gentle everywhere. All gentle means is not thinking about your self-preservation. Now, what if, could you take a little of this? Like, if I just give a little jiggle and a jump, oh man. And if I stop at the right time, but you'll be able to handle it here pretty quick. All right. Feet still. There, oh man. That looked pretty good. Every time I feel her relax, then I stop jumping up and down. This is going to give me what I'm needing to be able to get on her back. Hey, look at there. That's it. Come face. That a girl. There we go. Brushing your tail already. Touching your ears. Rubbing and dubbing. Now she's accepting more and more. This is the moment. This is where every little bit counts. When she relaxes, I come down. She's starting to stand. She's cocked her hind leg. There we go. I don't feel any tension when I rub down her hip or down her tail. She's starting to look as though she's done this 1,000 times. This is starting to feel really good. I'm confident. She's confident. This is something we're doing together now. That was all right. That was good for both of us. That was okay too, wasn't it? Hey, we're going farther and farther. Now, wasn't that you just a little while ago? I was running around this corral, jumping and kicking, thinking, oh my golly, the world is coming to an end. She's starting to see the big picture now. She says, he jumps once or twice, I know he's coming up. So far it hasn't hurt me. I guess it's not a big deal. That a girl. Hey, now look at here. That's pretty good. For me to feel a horse make this much change in one session. Just this morning, this horse woke up a wild Mustang. And here she is. It never ceases to amaze me. This is a fabulous feeling. That a girl. The human being smells like what they eat, which is meat. Turn and face me. But the horse smells like what they eat, which are the grasses. Here today we had an opportunity to help a horse find out that the human is not nearly as bad as they smell. Hey girl, how you going? Huh? Ain't a bad deal, is it? I'll bet you never woke up this morning thinking you were going to have 200 pounds of cowboy kneeling on your back. You're just doing fantastic. Pretty soon, you and I, we might just be able to ride. Okay, that's good for today. What do you think? Now you can clap. Yeah, clap all you want. I'm sure I'm not the first person that's dreamed of playing with wild horses, but please remember, I've spent a lifetime developing my talents and skills to have the savvy to be able to get inside of a corral like that and play with those horses in such a way that it's both safe for them and myself. I'd recommend that if you want to learn how to have savvy with horses, that you start off with the easiest horse you can find, not the most difficult. Because remember one thing, that inside of every gentle horse is a wild one, and inside of every wild one is a gentle one.